Welcome back to another video. It's be episode 4. In today's video, I don't know what I'm doing quite yet today. I got a lot of stuff I can do. Potentially, it is warmer out per se, but it is extremely windy. Like, extremely windy. You'll probably hear it on one of the clips eventually of the wind blowing up against the bus. So yeah, it's like 40 some degrees out, so all the rain is melting. So, you know, I can see my gutter working outside the bus, so I can see it all dripping down, at least by the driver's door. But metal supply place is closed today and the weekend, so I can't get any plates for that. I think that's what I'm gonna do, at least for the bottom section for sure, because if I'm going to get this inspected somewhere else, they're probably going to want to see a piece of metal down there. But obviously, I wouldn't be able to install that until these doors get taken out. So that can't get finished today because I don't have the stuff to do that necessarily. I could work on it a little bit, but it's not going to really change much, right? I can work on the floor for sure if I open that door up, but if I open that door up, I'm going to get water dripping all down me because, like I said, the gutter over the door is like right there, so right where I'd be working. So what I'm gonna do instead for now probably is work on my seat, mounting my seat up to that seat bracket that bolts in here. So I got some angle iron. I gotta do some measuring and mocking it up and seeing how it fits, and hopefully I can get that welded and drilled up and bolted together. So then when the floor is done and painted and ready, I can just throw the seat in and it's good to go, and I can drive the bus around. So yeah, I'm gonna work on that right now, I think, because that's the easiest thing to work on, and I have a little bit of aspirations to do that. Got my daily coffee, or it's not every day I get a coffee, but I got a coffee today. I'm kind of feeling it. Well, it's a drowsy day. I'm just gonna try to suck some of my energy out and make me want to do nothing. So I need some caffeine to keep it going. It's wet outside. It's windy outside, which makes it colder than it really is. But yeah, let's try to get some stuff done today. You can just hear it. You can see the trees blowing out there. Oh, the whole bus is shaking. Goddamn. See everything melting. Luckily, that ain't blowing away in here, so that's good. Which is telling me that there's not a ton of, even with a lot of wind like this, there's not a ton of air going underneath, which is good. You don't want a bunch of, wind and air going underneath, because then it comes up through your floor, and then you got to better insulate your floor. So that's a good sign. Here's what we're looking like right now. The seat is not mounted yet, but I got the brackets tacked on. So the difference between this seat and the other seat, you can see this mad angle on the seat bracket, right? Well, that's because that other seat mount super far back because I guess the back end was thicker, so it kind of leveled it out itself. But this seat is meant to be, mounted in a very flat position on like a flat floorboard. So with this angle iron, I didn't want to leave too, I didn't want the gap to be too big for, the weld contact area. But the back end is raised up a little bit more, so the angle is closer to flat. It is still a little bit, at a taper, but not, it's very close to level once it's mounted there, which is much better. And that's not adjusted properly. It could be slid forward and it's a little tilted because these standoffs still need to be drilled out. I didn't drill any of the holes yet, so I wanted to get it lined up, and I might end up actually just cutting those off. We'll see. I might take a piece of cardboard and make a template to put over it. But yeah, this looks pretty sick, I think. To have this seat in here. it looks normal, right? Like, it doesn't look out of place. I don't know, I just think that's really funny. And once I have that bracket on there, I can basically bolt up whatever Volkswagen seat I want. And I got to be careful with leaving this door open because when the wind blows really hard, it tries to open that door, which is, you know, slamming on my extension cord. So I opened this window up to relieve the pressure while I was welding. But at this point, I could take the welder outside and finish welding that bracket up. But I think next I'm going to make a template, cut it out so I can fit it up and make sure it doesn't need any adjusting. And yeah, I think this is sick. I am welding up the seat frame. Started with tacks all around as you saw when the seat was mounted. And now I'm just going through and finishing the welds. So I'm going to keep doing that. I should have plenty of enough wire to get through this whole thing and whatever else I need to do. So I'm going to keep at it. Got the seat bracket all welded up. I did it all 4 sides, so all the way around. I know I got good penetration into this original bracket because you can see all the heat transfer. So if you're thinking, oh, that doesn't seem very safe to put a seat that wasn't meant for this in here. People change seats all the time. Companies make custom brackets all the time. Aftermarket seats basically use a bigger L bracket to adapt them to your floor. So I don't see how this is any more unsafe than the original Rusty bracket. So I think if anything's going to fail here in a crash, it's going to be the original bracket, because this is just an extension of the original bracket. So if there's going to be a problem, the original bracket is likely going to be the issue. But anyways, to move on from safety regards to this, and I'm going to try to put the factory airbag thing back onto this new seat so that it still works and everything. But anyways, I'm going to clean this up after I take a little break, and I'm going to hopefully paint this all one color. I'm going to get a template made so that I can get the bolts drilled out in the proper spots for the new seat, and then I'll get some nice heavy duty bolts to bolt the seat down so that in the event of a crash, the bolts are not going to be the failing part, because I use some regular, you know, bolts. No, they're going to be like some grade A bolts. So yeah, that's the plan. And then once the seat's on there, or once I bolt it up, I can trace out whatever's extra on this and cut it off so that it's not protruding, where I can potentially cut my leg on it or something. But yeah, that's that. I got a template made. Found a piece of cardboard, traced out the tops of these rails. I didn't do the bottom bolts. I mean, that one, I basically, since it has that protruding points right there, I just slapped it against the cardboard and it perfectly punched them in. And then I outlined the rails, drew out the front holes so that I can bolt the 2 front rails in when I drill those 2 holes. And then I can just trace out the back holes from there, take the seat off, drill them out, and should be all good. Rather than trying to continue to trace them on the thing and going solely off of that. These 2 holes should be good. I'll cut out that slot. I'll drill that hole, and that hole. Put it on, mark the back ones, and get those drilled out. And then I can clean this up, paint it, bolt the seat on, and we'll be Gucci. But obviously I gotta finish the floor still. But honestly, I could put the seat back in. If I paint it up to there, I could still weld in that front plate, but I'd rather get it done and do it all at once. So I don't have to keep going back and forth, do one thing at a time. But yeah, looks good. Got the seat put in there. It's not mounted yet, but I got the hole drilled and the slot cut out, so it sits on there in alignment of where it'd be. I did put this housing back on temporarily. I didn't secure it or anything, but I just put it in place of where it would be, and I put that back in just to see how the space is. This was super hard to get in and out of already with the stock seat. And mind you, this rail crap would be out of the way, and I could get maybe a different cup holder, but as you saw, I just got in here no problem. And push the brakes down, you know, I got plenty of room for my feet. And if I need to go higher in seating, I can pump it up and get a higher view. But I don't need to be this high up. Like, I don't need this much view. I don't need the steering wheel that close to me. So yeah, I mean, everything lines up pretty decently, and it's way more comfortable. I like it all the way down. And it's got plenty of adjustability to go further forward or backwards if somebody else is driving. I can access this top cubby, and then the bottom one I'd have to open to get in. And that's that gutter I was talking about. That's why I didn't want to work right there, because I'd have that dripping and splashing all over me. But yeah, nothing hits. I got plenty of room to shuffle my feet through here, so if I want to get out of the seat, it's not a problem at all. So yeah, I think she's a keeper. And like, it just matches the dash. Like this light gray that they had, sure, like may have matched the bus seats, but like it doesn't match the aesthetic of the bus. Like this, I think just fits in way better. I don't know, what do you guys think? I know it's got the holes in it, but I also got some repair kit for that, which will put like blue suede on it, which we'll see. I'm gonna put some blue suede down it to fix those little holes. Eventually all this will be out of the way, because I was kind of struggling to get that on. I pushed the seat back. I don't know if I needed to do that. I just couldn't remember how I put it back on. So with this bar out of the way though, it'd be so much easier to slide that in, because I don't have to finagle it underneath this big old bracket. So the seat won't even matter at that point. It'll definitely come out easily. So I'm not worried about that. Getting that cowl off, that should be no problem, especially once all this shit's gone. I got bolts for the seat to the bracket. I still do need to get new bolts for the bracket to the floor, because if you remember from the beginning, those other bolts were kind of crap. But I got the rear holes drilled. I got the bolts in there. They're not tightened, because I still need to clean that up and repaint it so that it looks all nice. But while the seat is on here, I need to trace out the excess part of the rail and round off the corners so that it looks real nice and professional. And actually, cutting these off would be really easy with my chop saw, so that'll be nice to, or my bandsaw I should say, not a chop saw. I wish it was a chop saw, but it's a bandsaw. So the bandsaw will probably cut those off no problem. But yeah, it fits up nice. It blends in perfectly. Like it just looks like it's meant to be. I got it positioned up where I like it. I gotta figure out how to get this guy attached up to the side. Be careful with this, but basically I need this guy to basically bolt up right about there, roughly, so that I can use the seatbelt. And the airbag thing still works. See, like this little explosion that pulls it back. So I might end up putting a little bracket on there. The factory one comes out right here. So if I get one of my old seat belts from the garage, I might still have that bracket. So I can bolt that in and then maybe bolt this to that. I don't know, I'll figure that out on how to get that mounted up properly. I got the seat bracket ground down. It has been coated in the bed liner stuff that I got. So it doesn't look horrible. It's like a textured finish almost. Yeah, it doesn't look too bad. It's pretty easy to apply. So I think that'll be good for like the floor area and underneath. And I think once that's installed, you'll barely even notice that there's something up with it. Because look at that. From the side, it just looks like a seat bracket until you're to look much closer. Yeah, I'm gonna throw this in the back of there, let it dry, and I'm pretty hungry. The sun is setting. It's like 4 o'clock, so probably gonna make some food and relax. I think this is gonna be the end of today's video. I didn't really do much today besides work on that seat bracket basically. I kind of, in my mind, I figured, you know, there's no point in finishing the floor if I don't have a seat to sit in once it's done. I don't know, it doesn't really matter what order I do it in, it all has to get done. The garage is currently flooding because of all the snow melt, so I can't, it's all gonna refreeze, so that's gonna be a fun thing to work around tomorrow. I got most of my tools and stuff, anything important off the ground, so whatever it does freeze should be all right for the meantime. But yeah, thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.